In this WrestleTalk news, CM Punk plans, Bray Wyatt's clash with Vince McMahon, my review of AEW Dynamite, and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news, and do the crab with me. Yeah, do the subscribe crab. Crab crab. Crab crab. Crab 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 crab. Subscribe crab. Subscribe crab.
Support WrestleTalk!
Tomorrow night is the second episode of AEW Rampage, subtitled The First Dance, where it's been heavily speculated, reported, and rumoured that CM Punk will be making his AEW debut. AEW themselves have all but said Punk will be debuting, with teases and references all over episodes of Dynamite. But it's not just the fans who want to see Punk return to wrestling again, as Fightful Select is reporting multiple people from AEW's network, TNT, and Warner Media are very excited about the possible, speculated, reportedly rumoured debut, which they are very aware about. Apparently TNT is planning to put their full promotional machine behind Punk in AEW, being particularly excited about the United Center and Chicago Bulls tie-in. Ironically, Punk always complained WWE never gave him the same level of push they gave people like John Cena. He was never on your lovely little collector's cups, on the program covers, he's not in the movies, he's certainly not cast in any crappy shows on the USA Network, he's not on Jimmy Fallon. Now it seems he'll be getting just that on TNT. Those same TNT folk also told Fightful how impressed they were with AEW for running 4 shows in the same market of Chicago in just a several-week period, which all sold incredibly well. CM Punk no! One more day, Davis. One more day. Another day, another destiny. On this never-ending road to Calgary. There's many never know my crime, I never saw my time on one day more. I didn't live until today. It's been a long week, okay? Goldberg to AEW confirmed. The day after Rampage, Goldberg will be facing Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Appearing on WWE's The Bump, Goldberg revealed his future plans after Lashley, saying he would love to fight Roman Reigns and John Cena, but he also then revealed how long he's got left on his current WWE deal. Hey, I only got 2 more matches on my deal here, so we'll see what happens. Goldberg's current deal has him wrestling 2 matches per year through the end of 2022, meaning he's done for 2021 after his Royal Rumble match against Drew McIntyre and Saturday's SummerSlam. In theory, this means we've got 2 more chances next year to have Goldberg versus Matt Riddle before he's either gone from WWE or negotiates a new deal. One of Goldberg's more painful victories in recent years was beating The Fiend at Super Showdown last February for the Universal title. Wyatt arguably never recovered from the loss and was released from WWE last month. The actor and former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. has spoke to the Ringers Wrestling Show podcast in a preview for SummerSlam, where he revealed what his friends behind the scenes have heard about Wyatt and Vince McMahon's relationship. Vince and Kevin Dunn, I don't think Bray had a good enough hand to play poker with them at that game, and that's why he lost the first time in a weird way and in Abu Dhabi, and that's why things went south from there. Whoa, Freddie, it was in the beautiful progressive city of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, not Abu Dhabi, but the point does still stand. Freddie is seemingly confirming The Fiend being booked to lose at Hell in a Cell 2019 and at Super Showdown was because of creative differences. And now it's Thursday, you know what that means. My review of last night's AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Double L, Liam Leonard. There's never been a better time to become a pledge hammer, as not only can you enter our new Wrestle League Fantasy Predictions season if you sign up before Saturday's SummerSlam, where you'll compete against all us in the office and everyone else on Patreon, it's also Fan Quizzlemania today. Join in by visiting patreon.com/subscribe crap. Look, there's never been a better time. The show opened with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston getting jumped by the newly signed 2.0 Congratulations and Daniel Garcia, which quickly became Sting's first match on TNT since Darby Allin got his first skater chain. This tag match was everything it needed to be, covering for Sting's advanced years with face paint and crowd brawling like it's TNA circa 2010, with enough actual wrestling from him to capture the magic of his heyday. awesomely no-selling, getting put through a table and then tapping out both of 2.0 in a double Scorpion deathlock. This is 3 out of 3 in terms of hugely enjoyable Darby and Sting tag matches now. We got a clip from earlier in the day of Sammy Guevara proposing to his girlfriend just 5 days after giving his mate Fuego del Sol an AEW contract on air. Does this guy do anything privately? This played into the story of his match against Shawn Spears next, with his fiancée in the front row of the crowd to watch in their home state of Texas. Tully Blanchard was quickly ejected from ringside, and this ended up as one of Shawn's best in AEW so far. It did have a few too many false finishes for me though, as the dual hop up onto the top rope for Spears to flip him off so Sammy hit a cutter could have been a great ending. But like most things in AEW at the moment, a lot of stuff is being shifted for whatever could possibly, maybe, reportedly, my mate Graham told me he heard something on Twitter, happened this Friday. And Sammy ended up winning with the Go to Hell, his variation on someone else's Go to Sleep finisher. Dan Lambert cut a promo hilariously blaming cancel culture for sending out Lance Archer last time he was there to shut him up. Max Caster to America's Top Team confirmed. Lance came out to do it again, but he was jumped by Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, potentially setting up Lambert as their manager. Christian called Don Callis a carny piece of S-word backstage. We got a neat video package on Dante Martin to keep his momentum going from last week. And then came yet another really fun match. The Young Bucks defending their tag team titles against Jurassic Express. Both teams were as innovative as ever here, with Jungle Boy hitting a brainbuster off Luchasaurus' shoulders from the corner. And I feel like, with the crowd at full force, this was the first time since before the pandemic we've really seen Luchasaurus get over hugely again by being featured more prominently. The finish came as Kenny Omega took out Marco Stunt with a chair, and then slid it in for the Bucks to use for Jungle Boy to immediately reverse it, potentially playing into fan theories of an elite split if they keep botching each other's interference. But unlike Kenny losing his Impact title on Friday, the Bucks retained after several great near falls. Afterwards, we got a full elite beatdown of Christian, who had run down to stop Kenny earlier, which Omega punctuated with a one-winged angel, putting over the idea that nobody kicks out of it. Britt Baker introduced her enforcer Jamie Hayter backstage for her feud with Chris Statlander, positioning her very much as a heel, which it feels a bit weird at the moment. Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy built a match together in a video package. Well, it's the Paul White. He came out to talk about how good it was beating up the Nightmare Factory last week, so QT Marshall interrupted to show everyone graphic photos of Paul's several hip surgeries over the last year. It was really well done, with QT striking the perfect fake sincere tone, setting up White's big reveal. Tony Khan has booked them in a match together for All Out. Tony Schiavone told the Elite backstage there will be a tag team tournament starting on Friday's Rampage to decide the Bucks' opponents at All Out in a steel cage. It's a lot there. Which sounds really fun, sure, but it also shows how AEW's tag division lacks focus whenever the Bucks are champions, with number one contenders being decided through hastily booked gimmicks weeks out from the pay-per-view, with a steel cage icing to distract you from the lack of storyline justification for the stipulation. Surely you had the steel cage closer to the match to stop the Elite from interfering. Ricky Starks was set to have a face-to-face with Brian Cage, but it descended into brawling backstage. Andrade accepted Pac's All Out match, but only if he accepts his conditions, which probably involves Ric Flair some way. Thunder Rosa got a huge pop for her match against Penelope Ford and then tapped around in 5 minutes. I have no idea why AEW haven't featured Rosa more prominently over the last few months. Arn Anderson talked up Son Anderson's match against Malachi Black next week. Moxley cut a fantastic promo as always on Daniel Garcia ahead of their match on Friday, but also talked about what it takes to be at the top of the company too, potentially foreshadowing a feud with CM Punk as well. And then came our main event, MJF versus Chris Jericho, with all things Judas being banned from the match. As expected, this created a genuinely spine-tingling moment, with the whole crowd mumbling the first verse of Judas for Jericho's entrance, but then going crazy for the chorus. As anyone who's done karaoke before a night out will know, it's a great way to prime you for fun. And that's exactly what happened here. The pre-match singing got the crowd even more excited throughout the bout, raising the drama even higher. The finish came where both men tried to get weapons, but Aubrey stopped MJF, letting Jericho use Floyd the Bat behind her back. But he then realized he couldn't use the Judas effect to follow up with, giving MJF enough time to recover, hit a Judas effect of his own, and then tapping out Jericho in the Salt of the Earth armbar. It's a huge win for MJF, and potentially means Jericho could be stepping away from AEW for a time. What did you think of Dynamite? Let me know in the comments. 62% of you voted for Sting is the table in our poll on a poll match on the community tab. This was an incredibly fun episode, delivering big time on the Sting tag match and Jericho's sing-along entrance. I just want Friday to happen now. This week's Dynamite is 4 out of 5. Remember to join our Patreon for the Pledgehammer exclusive Thankwizzlemania later today, and watch our SummerSlam predictions with all of us back in the office right now.
Speaking of which, let's bring out your Jam That Champion. He is one half of Lost Intangibles B Banana.
He is one half. He is one half.
He weighs in. One half.
I missed you, Pete. Please welcome your Jam That Champion, Chopper Pete Cornell.